Neko Rescue Tale. Hard-headed is what you need to be in order to get through this title. It isn't horrible. In fact, it's got a progression mechanic I've rarely seen in games. It's also got a cutesy visual, increasing difficulty as you go along, plus new enemy types being introduced on the regular, but that's most of the good out of the way. What you'll be doing in order to beat each stage is kill every enemy by either jumping on their head or swiping at them with your paw. And this absolutely would have been a cartridge on the NES that some would consider a sleeper hit. It fits that era nicely, except for the fact that A, here you have endless tries to get through, whereas the NES would have limited your lives, and B, the hitboxes on enemies are super unfair, as is your ridiculously short swipe distance. Basically, you die a lot if you're not learning the invisible ropes, and rounding them at times with pixel-perfect execution. Not only are the hitboxes an issue, but the enemy stacking doesn't register in your favor all that often, so if a short enemy is walking in line with a tall one, and you try jumping on the tall one, the short enemy registers the hit, and the tall one immediately kills you. Add to this that your swipe has mild lag in its performance, while also completely stopping your momentum. So fast-moving foes will smack you faster than you can swipe at them. There's irony in the game's name too, as there's no tale being told here. You will find no bosses, the terrain eventually changes, but nothing about the controls or stage layouts does. The levels have no collectibles or extra reasons to play. There's no co-op, scoring, or versus modes either. A written guide doesn't exist, but I'd log this as a 4 on the difficulty scale that's apt to take a few hours to get through. No missables, but a surprisingly high completion rate. All you've got to do is beat 44 of the 60 stages to unlock the plat. And this is the kind of take your time trophy chase I enjoy, jumping in and out when I have some free time to spare, even if it's just 5 minutes. But I also know this isn't going to be one for the majority of cheap trophy hunters, since the challenge level is above average and doesn't relent along the way. You lose all progress in a stage when you get hit a single time, and many of those deaths are cheap or unfair. So while I don't exactly dislike this game, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone except old school platforming fans who enjoy the bragging rights of having beaten something most gamers would simply put down when their patience wore thin. And they'd somewhat be right to do so, because there's no in-game reward for besting these levels, and while there's a fair amount of stages, they quickly begin to feel derivative of those which came before them.